All right.
New?
Good.
Okay. All right. So you had mentioned that you had bought some jalopy that was constantly falling apart. How much did you pay for that, or did you get it for free?
I'm sure I didn't get, I probably paid 60, 70 bucks for it at the most.
Okay.
Remember, we didn't even take the keys out of our cars in those days.
Yeah.
They sat in the yard with the keys in them. And it was not in great shape.
But then you got that next car that was a much nicer car.
The
How much did
old
that one
Corolla
cost?
was nice, yeah. And then I ruined it.
Tore the
Sort of.
bumper off it.
Yeah. And I couldn't do anything about it because he was right. I shouldn't have stepped on the gas, but it never dawned on me that he might pull over. But anyhow, that was lessons I learned the hard way.
You remember how much you paid for that car?
112, I think.
Wow. That was a good car that you paid for just that little extra money for him,
Yeah,
which at the time was a lot more money, I'm sure. But
yeah.
yeah, I remember my first car that I bought that I'm sure you remember because I bought it and 150 bucks, and you said, "Do not buy this car." It was making a sound, so it sounded like the motor was about to go, and turned out that it was the reason it was doing that is because it was a low riding car and somebody had bottomed out and crushed the oil pan. So it was just the bottom of the piston rod that was hitting against the oil pan. So it turned out that I had that for what, 3-4 years. But yeah, that was.
You mean that was, I gave advice that wasn't good advice?
Yeah,
I'll be darned.
You gave me lots of good advice. It's just I never listened to it.
Not that one.
I wanted a car. Besides that, it looked like Uncle Roy's car, which I loved his GTO.
Oh,
So
oh, he didn't bottom it out, so you must have.
no, it was already like that when I bought it. It was like that. That's why they sold it for 150 bucks. I mean, it probably would have gone for at least 500 if it was not making that noise.
You wouldn't have been able to afford it.
No, I barely had that much. But okay, so we got through the car part of it in the house. Let's see, we already addressed that one. So you had mentioned your parents' first TV they got after you moved out.
Right.
When did you get your first TV?
After I got married,
Okay.
we had TV. I don't remember where I bought it. Probably from Phillips, but I can't remember now for sure.
Okay. Okay. Well, what is the first TV show you remember watching?
Well, we used to watch The Lone Ranger.
Okay.
And what was the one? What's My Line? No, not What's My Line. Something about tell the truth, to tell the truth, or something.
I've got a secret.
I Got a Secret. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All those are fun shows. So you did have, as a youngster, you did have a radio. Do you remember your favorite radio show?
No, we only listened to Deacon Doubleday in the morning, and he gave the weather and the report.
Didn't have the Phantom or any show that you really liked listening to on the radio?
No,
Okay.
I never listened to the Spider or all of those serials that people claim they watched as a kid. I never watched any of them or listened to any of them.
Okay.
As a habit, anyhow.
Well, I think we've already addressed two of these things, but we haven't addressed the one. Daniel was asking, do you have hot water and toilets? And we think that no, you did not.
Well, we had warm water.
But you had not
No,
But what about refrigerators? Did you have that or icebox when you were a
we
kid?
actually had a refrigerator, yes.
You did, okay.
I don't know how much they paid for it, but probably my mother bought it from GE when she worked there.
Okay. So she worked there too.
Yeah, she worked for GE when my dad was in the hospital. She took a job with GE. She worked in an integrated circuits department.
Okay. Well, I know you worked at GE for a number of years too.
Yeah,
Where I remember Grandma working was at Sirocco.
Sirocco? No, Grandpa.
Is that who was working there? I thought it was her. Okay. So she
Well,
was working in GE then.
I don't think she
'Cause I
worked at
thought Aunt
Sirocco.
Betty also at that worked at Sirocco.
That clock is still
Yeah.
Sirocco.
Right.
Yep, that's the one.
Okay. This one we never addressed. Well, a little bit, but I'll bet it's something. But what are your memories of winters when you were a kid?
I remember, you want to know the bad winters?
Sure.
I remember when the snow was so deep, all you could find was the antenna sticking out of the snowbank. That's how you found the car. I remember across the street from our house, the driveway came down through a bank. And so when the wind would blow, that would be twice as deep as the snow anywhere else. And he couldn't get out of his driveway. So he started leaving his car out on the street so he could get to work and stuff. But that was, snowstorms were really bad out there at times. But, there was a lot of times that it was just a slow down. You drive too fast, you can lose control and do damage to your car. But I don't remember getting stuck a lot. I used to be a little more careful than some people I knew about not getting myself in trouble.
Did you like playing in the snow when you were a kid?
Oh yeah, we used to make snowman and put clothes on them, and yeah.
Make
Forts. We didn't do a lot of forts, but we did some because there was nobody to fight with.
Well, I liked forts when I was a kid because I mean it was just I didn't fight with anybody, but it was just a fun place to build a fort and just kind of hang out. I mean, I liked being out in the snow, and it with my kids, I never really had that much of an affinity of being in the snow. But then again, we lived it.
We did live it. I remember we had a first power lawnmower we had. You had to do the rope around the pulley and then pull it, and then had to do it around the pulley again and pull it. And being inquisitive, I decided we had an old washing machine motor that was still good. The washing machine was well gone already, but I had the motor. And I've decided to rig it up so that I could put a belt around the motor and around the pulley and turn on the electric motor and start the lawnmower up. And I wouldn't have to pull that rope and all that stuff. It worked beautifully. None of my friends had anything like that, but I just figured it out in my head. I had a belt from God knows where, probably from the washing machine too, and just hooked it up so that and I could pull it to put tension on it, or I could push it in to take the tension off so that it wasn't still pulling the motor when I. Anyhow, that was my first invention, I would say. Electric motor. You don't get very many electric starters in those days.
No. Okay, so
I assume they're talking about when I was a kid, but
Sure. Doesn't have to be
I
though.
don't.
Words, whether you remember.
I remember, like I say, some really, really deep snows
Mm.
up there where we lived. I remember going down out to Route 57. You had to go down that hill to get there. I remember how hard it was to keep your car under control going down that hill, and there was no stopping at the end. You just had to go out on the highway and hope nobody was coming because you couldn't stop
Right.
going down that hill. Yeah, going the other way was just the opposite. You couldn't get started, but that wasn't because it was so much snow, just because it was a place where you couldn't get around it. You couldn't get through it.
Right.
Like I say, I remember it being so deep that you had to go out and find the car by the antenna sticking out.
Right.
That was amazing. But I don't remember that happening a lot. I just remember that happening.
Okay. Well, I've got a few of mine that are not redundant, although it's kind of a little bit redundant. Tell us about your first girlfriend or date.
Well,
You weren't a popular boy. We've gone through all that, but there had to be something that some girl that.
Patty Belson.
Okay.
Patty Belson was somebody that I was interested in. Her father was a truck driver. Her mother was very heavy lady. I guess they liked me to some extent. Well, he didn't. He was never home. But anyhow, she was. Well, when they lived in southwest Oswego, I went all the way over there to see her one time, and she invited me in her bedroom to show me something. And her mother came down on me like a hurricane. You do not go in her bedroom. Well, I was kind of flabbergasted because I didn't have any intention. She invited me there for a specific reason, not because of anything that her mother should have been worried about. But I remember that specifically. I kind of dated her. I was kind of dating her when I went into the Air Force. And when I came home on leave, she would go out with me, but only if I wore my uniform. And I wasn't too impressed with that. I thought she likes the uniform more than she likes me. But the next time before I came home, I was notified by my two lovely sisters that she was not true to me and she was dating all these other guys and everything, and telling me that she's waiting for me. So that was when I changed my life and started looking at other women and met Judy, and we got involved. And then when Judy and I got married, that was the first her mother knew about us. She says, I want my pictures of my daughter back. So I sent them back to her. What the heck? But that was neither here nor there. Does that tell you about?
Yeah.
She was not.
All right. This one is going to be interesting.
I thought that one was interesting.
That one was too. This is going to be interesting because it involves me.
Oh.
And you can answer it as honestly as you want to. What do you remember of when I was out of line?
When I couldn't catch you, you mean, and you were running away from me? Cause
Hey.
I didn't wanna leave you there when I was going to Denver or whatever I was doing. You didn't wanna go? You don't remember that one?
No, but I'm sure it's the case.
I chased you pretty far before I gave up.
And why? And you were wanting to go to Denver, and I wasn't. I mean, how old was I then? I was
You
pretty
were a
willful when
teenager, I can guarantee that.
I was pretty willful when we
You
moved
must have
out
been
here.
pretty fast by then.
Yeah, well,
Most
I
of
was
the
all
time
right.
you were just half-assed.
Yeah,
I mean, not real fast.
right.
No,
That's still that. I'm still that, but
no, I remember chasing you that day, trying to get my way. But most of the time, I said, boys are a lot easier to raise than girls. Because you've got so many things to watch out for with girls.
yeah.
But we didn't have a lot of disagreements. Now you left the car out in the middle of the boonies with my rifle under the seat, which I never got back because somebody stole it.
Sounds right. At 22.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, things like that were constant annoyance, but at the same time, they were standard practice, I guess you would say. And
Okay.
so
you're saying I wasn't that bad?
You weren't that bad.
Okay, that's good.
I would say
I figured
that you
there'd be
were
something.
actually not maybe ideal, but at least you were reasonably ideal.
Okay.
Unlike Daniel.
Yeah. What was the worst trouble you ever got in, and what was your parents' reaction? Other than being a perfect angel that never did anything wrong.
Yeah, that was
your MO.
Perfect angel. I don't remember my parents getting mad too often.
Well, I don't have to be mad. I mean, it could be something you did and you just got away with it.
Oh, I got away with it.
Yeah.
Oh, I got away with it. I guess telling the teacher that my mother said I didn't have to walk home from school was a big lie, and I got away with that.
Okay.
Because I told the teacher my mother said that was not true. The neighbor said, but I didn't think that would hold water.
Well, I can perhaps this will maybe I'm just a bad person, but I remember when I was a teenager that really wanted to drive, that I took your keychain one day, and I took the key for the '65 Dodge station wagon, Dodge Dart station wagon. I took it and made a copy.
Yeah.
And brought your keys back after I made the copy. And then one night when you and Mom were, I don't know, at movies or something.
We were in Nebraska. I came
Is that what
back
it
and
was?
you had drove the car around the block.
And the only reason you found out is because Janet ratted on me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I literally just drove it literally around the block. And I was just.
And put it back basically where it had been, or close enough that I didn't notice it.
Yeah, well, not exactly. I had our next door neighbors had to help me to get it back there.
Oh.
Because I didn't park it very good. And I knew I didn't. And they saw me struggling trying to get it back because you remember those. Well, I mean, shoot, for you, it's no big deal. But, you know, when you had to do this for trying to turn the car, and I wasn't, you know, I mean.
Now they do it for you.
Yeah. Now it's got power steering, but they didn't have it in that car. But yeah, I just remember that because I was just so dying to drive a car. And It was just so sneaky, but you didn't have anything like that, huh? Nothing sneaky where you did something, you got away
Well,
with it,
when you
or
threw
thought
all
you
the
did.
newspapers in the ditch.
Oh, that was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was again.
When I had to go around and explain to everybody, well, the wind was blowing so hard they probably blew away. No, David threw them in the ditch.
Yeah,
I didn't know that though.
because
I didn't know I was lying to
David
him.
lied. Yeah, because David was riding his bike and was getting just completely annihilated by the snow, and I was just
I thought it was
totally
just
tired.
wind. Was it snow that day?
Yes, there was a lot of snow. It was wind and snow, and yeah, I just like, okay, I'm done with this. So yeah, threw it in the ditch. Made it almost to the territory.
I'm sure that doesn't show up on your
No,
bio.
no, it does now.
We have permanent record.
Okay. Okay.
Anything you say can and will be.
Yeah, it will be. Okay. Let's have a breakdown of your relationships with each of your siblings. So you can start with your young brother first.
My young brother. My young brother and I mostly get along. He usually does what I tell him, and that makes it a little bit more pleasant. I don't know that well, I told you, we've had times when, as a father, that I tried to chase him down. But basically, as an adult, we've got along pretty good.
Okay.
I think.
And then with Betty?
Betty has always been distant to some extent. That's why you don't have any questions from Betty, because Betty just doesn't seem to get involved with some of the things that the family does.
Okay.
Partly because maybe, I don't know, she married Ron. Ron is good to her, but Ron is also bullheaded. Judy and I had invited Ron and Betty over for a meal one time, and Mom did her best to make a great meal for them, and they didn't show, and they didn't come, and there was nobody around. And when I finally got a hold of them, I found out that they basically couldn't make it. Well, the phone still works. Could have called us. But here's what I say. Ronnie was going, it ain't my relatives, you call them. And she's saying, you're the one that don't want to go, you call them. Well, it's not my relatives, you call them. Well, and I can see that going on in their family. Not because Betty is bullheaded too, but I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way I can express the fact that they didn't bother to even call. It just blew me away. But that's Betty's family, and Betty and Ronnie are totally, I don't want to say different, but they're kind of, I don't even want to say secretive. They're kind of are different. I don't know why or how. They just don't seem to play the games the same way we do sometimes.
How about Esther?
Esther is always congenial and always wants to be liked, and always gave me a good time when I was down there. Best time she could, with a husband who was a negative person. Bill is, I phrased it as the most negative person I ever met when I spent time in Florida with them. He's negative about a lot of things. And he watches stuff on TV like a flick where everybody's showing how they crashed into their boat, took a nosedive into the furniture or whatever, all this negative stuff. I'm going, why do you watch that stuff? And he watches it over and over again and still said, oh, that had to hurt. Well, of course that had to hurt. You told me that the last time you'd played it. But that's his character. I don't dislike him. I just am guarded with him because I don't think he is right for Esther because he's so negative. He won't walk into Walmart because he heard that Walmart stole something from somebody or whatever. Just don't understand. I'm not that kind of.
How about
open.
Dave? How do you get along with him?
How do I get along with him?
How did you?
He invited me to come back after I left the last time.
Okay.
So I kept my tongue controlled all the way through it. But when he watches this movie, it'll be over. I will never hear from him again. You're not going to show it to Bill, are you?
But we are going to show it to Esther, so.
Well, Esther can tell him. I don't have a problem with Esther telling him. You've got to be better to my brother. Go ahead.
Well, any other things that you'd like to talk about that I didn't address? Because I mean, we went through a whole big thing with you
I
just
was
now.
amazed that Daniel even had an input because he
To be honest with
hardly
you, I was
talks to
too.
me. Huh?
To be honest with you, I was too.
Okay.
Speaking
I
of,
like Daniel, but he just doesn't seem to be
No.
outgoing.
he's not. And I mean, Daniel is I mean, that's just, I mean, Daniel is a very caring individual, but he also is very secretive.
Yeah, he's just private.
He's very private, yes. And that's the thing that it used to be a problem for me, to be honest with you, but I know now what it is, and I know that there's certain things that he would rather just walk away from than just than deal with it. So, but he's getting better for sure. So
Does this machine go with those tapes when people want to view those tapes or listen to those tapes?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm not sure what we're going to do, to be honest with you.
We'll figure it out.
I think that this is probably the is going to be the bigger factor.
what is this one called? Facebook?
I'll put it on YouTube.
YouTube. I knew there was one of those names. YouTube. I don't know how much about YouTube, but
I'll send it to
I
you.
do.
I know my brother does Facebook. Everything is Facebook.
And we can put them on Facebook too.
No, don't do that. My brother will be all over it.
All right, we'll put it on YouTube.
I don't know how much he does YouTube. I don't know. I guess I've been frank enough. I've never been frank before, but I'm frank
You're
now.
frank today. So the only thing that I think we're missing is in the beginning you were explaining what the purpose of this video is, and that was before you started recording. And so I think you should explain the purpose.
Okay.
Because you did such a beautiful job,
Aww.
and I missed it.
Oh, so nice. Well, we need